Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm Richard Wolfenbarger.
I'm Zachary Cole.
And we are
The Originals. So, what are we going to be doing on the Originals channel, you might ask? Well, first of all, skits. You're going to be seeing the most original skits on YouTube. Second, movie reviews. We love watching movies, reviewing movies, big hit pictures. If you don't enjoy that, well, hate to break it to you. Sorry. But maybe in the future, do some gaming. And yeah, that's about it. Want you to be a part of the family? Subscribe to the Originals.
We just got one problem. We need you guys to like, subscribe, and share our videos so that we can end up doing this full time. Now for what you actually clicked on, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie review.
Well, that was an intro, wasn't it, Ricky?
that was an intro. And now we're just sitting down and all the energy's gone.
Yep.
Well, what the people came here for. The movie review.
So, welcome to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie review. So, if you don't know what the movie's about, it's about Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood visits 1969 Los Angeles, where everything is changing, as TV star Rick Dalton and his longtime stunt double Cliff Booth make their way around an industry they hardly recognize anymore. The ninth film from writer-director features a Lauren ensemble cast and multiple storylines and a tribute to the final moments of Hollywood's golden age. Where do we start with this movie?
Well, let's first start with, in my opinion, something I thought that was handled very well, following three main characters throughout the entire movie.
Yes.
I've seen Pulp Fiction, and I know it follows a lot more than three characters, and to be honest, when I first saw that, it took me about 2-3 times before I actually understood the story. Just going to be 100% honest there.
And I actually just watched Pulp Fiction a couple days ago. I really enjoyed it. It was really good, I thought.
Yeah, I'm the person that I don't enjoy when multiple storylines like that happen, but I think everything was handled well, and we kind of saw everyone have their own antagonist, so it wasn't like it was like really, it wasn't handled improperly at all.
For starters, let's start with DiCaprio's performance in this. This was, I've seen a lot of DiCaprio's movies. I thought this was pretty good. I wouldn't say like his best, but definitely really good. How would you describe his performance?
I'm gonna hit on one main part of the movie. Whenever we see DiCaprio acting within acting, we'll get more into that later. But whenever he was acting within acting, that's how I knew and I could see how great of an actor Leonardo DiCaprio is, because just seeing that man being an actor within an actor, and also seeing him break character within that, his character breaking character. But then going back into it to continue filming a scene, and it looked like it was almost done in one take too. That was some of the best I've ever seen something like that handled.
It was an amazing scene, and it's also in like the trailer, I think, where after the scene, the little girl's like, "That was the best acting I've ever seen." Yeah, and I'm thinking it was pretty good.
It was amazing. I don't know if those tears were real or fake whenever he started crying after that, but I'll tell you this, that was pretty good.
And like he said, we'll get more into the scene later, but it was longer than I thought it was going to be. For me, Brad Pitt I thought he was a little better than DiCaprio in this movie. I guess I just had low expectations for Brad Pitt because all I was thinking was just DiCaprio, because, he steals every scene, every movie he's in. Fight me on that. But yeah, Brad Pitt just really surprised me in this movie with his character, Cliff. What did you think about it?
It was definitely a good polar opposite for Rick's character. I kind of thought that Brad Pitt taking his shirt off, I kind of felt that was very unnecessary.
Well, when you have Brad Pitt in a movie, I mean, come on.
Yeah, you got to
take his shirt off.
But for some reason, I just kind of felt that was the most unnecessary shirt takeoff. That's like if I just took my shirt off just for this movie review, just for the fun of it. That's just...
It was very unnecessary.
It's the most unnecessary thing in the movie. But seeing his opposite to seeing Rick's opposite, they vibed really well together, and I thought that was done very, very well. Now Margot's character, Margot Robbie.
Here's one of the criticisms I have with this. Margot Robbie is probably in this movie for, I don't know, 10 minutes of the movie.
She's in the movie longer than that, but I believe she probably had a good 30 minutes of screen time, but she didn't have much words to say. I'm going to say 30 just because I'd rather go bigger than lower. Give her a little bit of grace. She is one of my favorite actresses, though. She definitely did a good... She portrayed her role well, And I got very confused at first, thinking, why is she in this movie if she's not going to have that much dialogue? But then I thought, this is an alternate history to what actually happened with Sharon Tate in the Tate murders. So I'm kind of glad we had her in it, but I also kind of felt that if we did not see her in the movie, like see her parts in it, except see her at the beginning, because like, oh, I want to get in good with the neighbors, like what Rick was trying to accomplish. He wanted to get in good with the neighbors, and then see her at the end. I feel like that kind of would have been fine, to be quite honest with you. But still, she did very great. What about the scene when he went to the shantytown, Spawn Ranch?
Oh man.
Tarantino did a very good job at making you feel very, very uncomfortable during that scene.
But that was a crazy scene. It keeps you on edge for the entire scene. It's a long scene, but you're on edge for the whole scene.
Yeah, and you'll start assuming every little thing in it. But that shows how great of a director though Quentin Tarantino is, because seeing just how uncomfortable you feel seeing that, that was just money in itself. But we saw clear antagonists for both characters. Well, I didn't see Sharon Tate's antagonist much during the movie.
Yeah.
But we had Rick that was basically fighting himself. He's thinking he's a dying breed of actor. His career's done, and he was just combating himself. And we got one of the most famous things you see in almost every DiCaprio movie, a DiCaprio breakdown scene, ending with him biting his fist at some point during that. But you can't have a DiCaprio movie without a DiCaprio breakdown scene.
You can't.
You just can't have that. And then you had Brad Pitt's character Cliff. You had him. He was just battling, just trying to prove himself a little bit, and just trying to also, I wouldn't say necessarily getting out of Rick's shadow. What would you really describe it as?
I mean, he loves being with Rick. You can see that. I don't know. I can kind of see maybe he wants to get away from it a little bit, of course, but I think he loves spending time with his best friend, Rick.
Yeah.
So they had a really good dynamic in the movie. Brad Pitt and DiCaprio, they're really good. I believe that they were actually friends.
What did you think about the plot with Manson? Because you went into this thinking Manson was going to be the main antagonist of the entire movie.
Well, in the TV spot or in the trailer, they kind of talk about Manson and his cult, and I was kind of thinking Manson was going to be the antagonist of this whole movie. Let's just say maybe doesn't go in that right direction. I'll say that for now. Yeah, Manson was good, I guess, for as much screen time as he was in, I guess.
For his one scene.
Yeah.
For his one scene.
Some of the cult, I mean, they were creepy. I'll give them that. Some of the actors and actresses that were in the cult, they played a really good creepy characters.
Yeah, they definitely portrayed their hippiness right. They portrayed everything right. And you could tell they were affiliated with something, but you couldn't tell what they were affiliated with.
Mm-hmm.
All we knew is that, well, to prevent demonetization, I'm not going to say the girl's name, but Kat, that's what we're going to call her.
Kat. PG term. I think
Yeah,
you know what we're
PG
talking
term.
about.
Kat was constantly talking about how Charlie's going to like Cliff, and you kind of just were like, see, there's like, okay, we keep hearing about Charlie. Who is Charlie? we know who Charlie is, but it's just the cult was, all the actors and actresses for that, they portrayed that perfectly.
Let's talk about Bruce Lee in this movie. So, Bruce Lee, I thought he was a little animated in this movie, and he was being really cocky. He was really cocky in this scene, and like how the scene starts out, Bruce Lee is telling some of his famous stories. He's being really cocky about it, and you see Brad Pitt's character Cliff. He's just sitting and just kind of thinking to himself, "This guy, he ain't anything. He's stupid."
He calls him a dancer.
Called
him a dancer.
The dancer, yeah. And so Bruce Lee sees Cliff laughing, and he's like, "What's so funny?" And he's like, "Just you thinking you're tough, pretty much." And he said, "Well, let's fight then. Let's see what you got then." They both stand up. Bruce Lee just kicks the crap out of Cliff, and Cliff's like, "All right, that was a good kick. Let's do that again." And then one of the best moments was Bruce Lee comes at Brad Pitt, throws him against the car.
Yeah, I thought the story was based off a true story at first, because I don't know much about the Manson murders or any of the Tate murders. I don't know anything about that.
Mm.
I was sitting there thinking to myself, dude, if I did that to Bruce Lee, I would have bragged about that till the day I died.
My life would have been complete.
Yeah, and I was sitting there and we looked up. I found it was not a true story completely,
It wasn't.
but I thought that was pretty neat. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
And then they go at it again. They're fighting, and it's actually a little even. Like the third round, I was thinking,
They had the
okay.
best rule. You can't hit the face.
Yeah.
Can't hit the face.
And then it's interrupted. I hated that it was interrupted, but it was interrupted, and it was just one of the best scenes. Let's talk about criticisms. I was trying to think of some criticisms. We talked about Margot Robbie a little bit. I guess that she's really not in the movie as much as
I will
you
say
think she
this
would be.
because I'm nitpicking and because it's also a criticism. I don't know how in the world that Sharon Tate went to go see a movie, what felt like in maybe the middle of the day, like late morning, and then it's like evening time when she gets out of the movie. I don't understand how in the world that happens, but okay. So what would you rate this movie?
I would rate this 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed this movie. Definitely would want to watch it again. If you're not in the typical, I don't know how to explain it exactly. This is kind of like a slow burn movie, and I don't mean like in that as an insult. It's just really, it's all story.
Yeah,
And
this is a very story-driven movie.
Mhm.
If you want a big action movie, you're not getting it.
Yeah, this isn't your typical Pulp Fiction, Tarantino, or Inglourious Bastards. It's not like that at all.
Yeah, this is just your story-driven movie. I'm not trying to compare Tarantino to Shakespeare, but it's like that.
Mhm.
Shakespeare, it's more drama-based. That's all it is. If you got action, it's more towards the end usually. Not saying that they're comparable.
Mhm.
They could be. I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and start drama in the comment section on our very first video. But I would rate it a 4.7. That's what I would honestly give it the rating of. I will never probably give a movie 5-star rating, but I feel that it got a good 4.7 out of 5. There's not much to really complain about. If you watch it, unless you're like one of those people that want to sit there and you love movies that are full of action, you're clearly in for the wrong movie. But if you're one of those people that just go in and you want to find like the next movie that's like art or something just good and dramatic,
Mhm.
this is your movie. It's one I would highly recommend to you. It's definitely one of Tarantino's best. It like what some of the ads say. It's Tarantino's masterpiece.
It's pretty close to a masterpiece. I gave it a 4.5. You get a 4.7. So I mean, there you go. And you'll get your action at the end of the movie. So
Yeah, you'll get it all at the end.
You'll get some action at the end of the movie.
And it's not just like a little bit of fighting. No, you don't just pull out a flamethrower for a little bit of fighting. A dog doesn't bite somebody's balls off for a.
And
You get all your action.
you'll get all your action. So yeah, 4.5, 4.7. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this movie review. I'm Zachary Cole.
I'm Richard Wolfenbarger. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our videos.
And please be a part of the family.